Howdy, folks. How you doing there? What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back now with transfer news, transfer rumors, everything in between. It's going to be a hectic month, I think, both ins and out, and we've got an in to talk about and a possible out in this stream. Before I go on, though, please hit a like on the video. Really is the best way to help out the channel, and of course, it just it lets the video and everything else in between get seen by more people. So it really does mean a lot. Maybe little to you just to hit the thumb to like it, but it means a lot to a creator. Subscribe to the channel, of course. Drop your comments below. Thank you to John L for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, John. And memberships, if you want to become a member of the channel, thank you to all existing members. Membership links are in the description. Tintin, we're off that now, man. It's the second. You gotta hold that now. Happy New Year. That's done. That's yesterday. We're in the year now. Let's go. But no, listen, shout out to you, man. Steve here saying we need 2 more left backs, a number 9 and a proven goalkeeper. Well, I mean, listen, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Birmingham game, just a few bits and pieces, and obviously something that Daniel Farke said at the end of the game. But listen, I don't know if you heard yesterday. I don't know if you heard, but Patrick Bamford scored yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it around anywhere. I don't know if it's popped up on your social media feeds or anything else like that. But Bamford allegedly scored a goal yesterday. I've missed it. I've missed it because it hasn't been in my face all night long and everything else like that. It's crazy. It's just crazy how the PR and propaganda machine works for that guy. It's insane. You'd have thought he had done like what Mitrovic did a couple of years ago and sound like 30 goals by January or something. But look, if it looks like he's here to stay, I would say for all the people that thought that this could be a shop window exercise for Bamford, the way that the propaganda machine was running on the official accounts and everyone else in between, local journals, he ain't going nowhere, man. He's here to stay, and all it took was a header against Birmingham City. And that's something else I didn't mention as well. We mentioned how poor Birmingham City were yesterday, but John Ruddy, the first 2 goals in particular, that was poor from him to concede those goals. And you think of John Ruddy, he used to be a real solid goalkeeper. That's 5-10 years ago. John Ruddy, those 2 shots aren't going in, no chance. But that's where they are right now. You've seen he's not in the greatest of shape now. But yeah, David here saying saw Bamford haters on FB. Yeah, the thing is though, you can never describe me as a hater for the guy. I just want him to do what he's supposed to do, and that's score goals. I don't care for all the other stuff that keeps on going on with him, but gets swept under the rug. I will say this though, I've never known a player at Leeds United, and someone else, if you can think of anyone else, please name the names. But I can't think of another player that has been so poor for Leeds overall, talked down to the fans and, not cared for the fans, been nonchalant, but has got the best propaganda and PR machine behind him. I almost commend it. I'm almost like, wow, fair play to you, man. Fair play. So yeah, listen, if he does it again, cool. And hopefully whoever it was who said it on yesterday, what you're saying about Bamford now, I hope you're back again in the next game, because I hope he keeps scoring while he's at this football club. Andy here saying people getting carried away with Paddy. It was a poor Birmingham, probably the worst team to visit Ellen Road this season. Yeah, I definitely think they are as well. And shout out to Reese, who's a Birmingham fan. He didn't think it was going to be that bad, but they really were the worst team that we've played so far. And it's not even close for me, because at least with other teams, you know what they were trying to do, whether they were defending deep or whatever it may be. I don't know what these guys were trying to do. I really don't know what they're trying. But as we've seen in the news, in terms of what's happened there as a consequence of the result against Leeds, Wayne Rooney has been sacked. So we actually did finally, not to revel in anyone losing their job, but we finally didn't give a manager a lifeline. We've got someone out because of the result that they got against us. Well, as was the final nail in the coffin. I mean, his reading here, I mean, you'd never believe. This is shocking reading. Just quickly on the Wayne Rooney thing, only because we were the final nail in his coffin. 15 games at the club for Birmingham City, 2 wins, 4 draws, 9 losses, 13% win rate. When he took charge, there was 6th, they're now 20th. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Yeah, yeah, Gavin, 100%. But look, it went in, and I just hope that it continues while he's here. If Leeds are still working behind the scenes to say, hey, look, he's still fit and ready to score goals for you. If they want to transfer him, I'm great with that, really and truly. But I just don't see it happening. Not with what I was seeing last night with all the Patrick Bamford posts from the official accounts. It was a lot, man. It was a lot. Let's have a look. Yep, and Gavin, that is one of the rumored names, Jesse Marsh for Birmingham City. I bet he wishes that he took that Leicester job. Actually, he did say that though, didn't he? He did say that he wishes he took the Leicester job. Um, we did, Philip. Yeah, we've done them a favor. Listen, it was going toxic. You could hear them. They didn't want him there. Did not want him there. But yeah, listen. Let's have a look now. So we've done that. We've spoken about Rooney, and I just wonder how long Phil Hay had this one in the tuck. How long was he waiting to get this headline off? That must have been in the draft for ages. It's his first goal in a league win since May 2021, when 2024 people. I wonder how long that was in his drafts. But shout out to Phil, man. That's my guy still. That's my guy. So yeah, listen, let's I can see some of you talking about Creswell. We're gonna do Creswell second. Pause. Darren, that's funny. Cage, you may be ready. Let them in on purpose. He wants Rooney out too. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. But we're talking about Josh Doig, and if you've been here a while, people, this shouldn't be news to you here because I've actually spoken about him before, right here, 6 months ago when we came down. There we are. Target Manning, Doig, question mark, but good night, Kirkesh. Because I knew Kirkesh was going Premier League, but I thought there could be a chance we get Josh Doig. So this is someone I've spoken about on the channel previously. And Toro Goal have said, dialogues between Torino and Verona, who's where he's at, anticipated by Damasio, which obviously is the biggest Italian sports journalistic site, requests around 6 million euros, also contacts with Monza, Leeds United, and Rangers. Now, I would say this. not quite. KGB, that's the vision. That's the vision, people. But I would say this at the time when I said this, I don't remember exactly everything I said in that video, but I thought he would be around 10 million. And I said even then, a 10 million investment on a left back is a good investment for someone of his quality because he's got everything you need for a left back. Got a good cross on him. He's very strong. He's tall as well, which will give us more height in our back line, which we do need in this team. And he can get up and down with no problem. Very athletic player. Very, very athletic. And I'm surprised that the clubs being mentioned are the only ones being mentioned so far. I think it's probably because he's at Verona. Maybe he's not getting as many eyes on him as he would be if he was at a more known Serie A club. But if we can get this deal done, I think it's around approximately 5.2 million with add-ons or something like that. Get it done. Absolutely get it done. Sign him up. Philip here saying, let's hope we get Josh in. He does look like a decent player. He's brilliant. He really is brilliant, and he's got the potential to be even better. And at 5 million, if let's just say the worst case scenario happens and he's a failure, like all the other left backs since Ian Hart have been since they've been signed here, then 5 million, we will recruit that back on his next transfer easily as well, because he's still got name value. He's still very young. He's only 21 years old. This is one for me that it solves so many problems, and we can stop talking about finally getting a left back. Will we finally replace Ian Hart? That's the question, people. Are we going to finally replace Ian Hart? That's what I want to know. Nate, left-footed. He's certainly left-footed, Nate. He is a left-footed left back, people. Left-footed left back. Gavin asking why are they so keen to sell him? Because they're a lower end Serie A club, Gavin, and there's not a lot of money in Italy. If he was in a better league where there's a bit more money floating around, we wouldn't be talking about £6 million for 6 million euros, I should say, for his talent level. That's why it's important that we get this in. Chris King, yeah. Chris, question is, why did someone not come in yesterday? Yeah, listen, we're in the second day of the transfer window. I said ideally in December, I want this left back in by today. There should be no excuses for it. They should have been all wrapped up. I've seen other deals around Europe that have been wrapped up, signed, and ready to go by the first and second of their respective windows. We really should have been in that camp as well, with Byram and Firpo being our left backs here. But we're still doing business. But look, we shall see where this goes. I know that Rangers are probably the wild card there, as going back to Scotland may be something that entices him. But a challenge to go to Leeds United, try and get promotion, playing in England with a chance to go to the Premier League. It's a big carrot to dangle, absolutely huge. So let's go and get him. And he comes in, he's got no competition. Firpo, people talk about Firpo, even Byram. He comes in and he's number one left back straight away. Can he take free kicks? He can take indirect free kicks, Gavin. He'll probably take them from deep. He's not, we're not going to get Ian Hart numbers from him from direct free kicks. But again, he is good on set pieces. He can help out on set pieces, and we need all the help we can get on that, people. So yeah, we shall see where this goes there, and hopefully we get it wrapped up this week. That would be the best case scenario. Get it wrapped up tonight, so we can come back tonight and say we've signed Josh Doig. He's in the building. But we shall see how this one goes, and we'll keep an eye on that one. And obviously, the other thing in the title is Charlie Creswell. Yeah, he is Lord Sugar. He's very good going forward, absolutely. But you see, unlike I don't know if you're talking about Firpo, but if you're talking about Josh Doig, he is good going forward, but he's also good defensively too. So you won't get any scares, even against a poor, not even mediocre, because that's unfair to mediocre teams. A poor team like Birmingham, where they managed to get round Firpo twice, and he had to foul them twice. Now forget all that, forgetting all that. Verona one ailing. I swear he's out injured. But this was the other thing that has come out, and this is the second part, and this is where we're going to find out who's going to be leaving, because Creswell wasn't in the squad yesterday, as we know, and Farke clarified he wanted to add Pervader's creativity to the bench. The last couple of games we were lacking in the final third on whether Creswell will stay in January. Charlie's a proud player. It's up to him if he wants to take this challenge. Now, was there something else here? Okay, yeah, there was a little bit more. Farke saying they rate Creswell and want to keep him from our side. There is no will to let him go, but it's important to speak about what the player wants. People, didn't I say this in December? Come on, didn't I say this in December when Daniel Farke said nobody's leaving in January? Didn't I say this exact same thing? This isn't an "I told you so" thing. It's so obvious. You can't just keep players, especially when you're not playing them, and just hold them hostage in 2024. Football just does not work like that. Now, Charlie Creswell had the perfect opportunity to come in yesterday against Birmingham City, and he didn't even make the bench because Farke wanted to Pervader there. For me, that's just another excuse. He clearly does not fancy Charlie Creswell. He clearly doesn't fancy him. Darren here, Farke sounds like he's trolling us sometimes. Kevin here saying Farke just covering himself. Matt, great point. We had no centre back on the bench yesterday. He clearly doesn't fancy him. Yeah. So if you're the 49ers now, you have to, if you're going to back Daniel Farke, sell Charlie Creswell. I want to know if you guys think it's a good idea, but ultimately it doesn't matter what we think. He's not getting game time here. Even in the championship, start of the season, given a number 5 shirt. I know shirt numbers don't mean much these days, but it looks like he's set for a bigger role. He couldn't have played less if he tried. It's unbelievable what's happened with Charlie Creswell. And if he's not going to get ahead of Liam Cooper, especially this version of Liam Cooper, he's well within his rights, people. And I don't want to see anyone going at Charlie Creswell for this. He's well within his rights to request a move away. Well within his rights. Chris Kingy, I mean, I know how you feel about Daniel Farke, Chris, but I hear this kind of thing. I'd rather keep Creswell over Farke. Yeah. David saying, I want him to stay. That means zilch. Kevin saying, absolutely don't sell him. Dave is saying, Creswell, good young player, but can be very rash. The thing is, Dave, and everyone else that says things like that, you only get those rash things out of your system when you get a run of games or chances to play. Could I get half an hour against this Birmingham City team, please, boss? Nah, I want Pervader there to add creativity to the bench against this Birmingham City side. Look, Daniel Farke, the thing is, I don't expect Daniel Farke to come out and say, I do not fancy Charlie Creswell. Things don't happen like that. It shouldn't happen like that. Keep that in-house. But let's get the wheels in motion to raise some transfer funds and get some players that Daniel Farke does actually trust, so we can make a real good push for the top 2. Um, no, definitely not a joke name, SJ. He's real. He's definitely real. Uh, Jamie here saying, if we sell, could we not put a buyback clause in there? I would say this, Jamie. Charlie Creswell has had two. He's been here the whole spells, obviously, but he's had two different instances now where he got loaned out the first time to Millwall, and he's come back. Probably been promised that he's going to get some game time here, and it hasn't happened again. I think even if we put a buyback clause in there, I guess it depends on who the manager is in the future. I guess that kind of comes into the equation, but I just don't see why he'd want to come back. It hasn't been a good spell for him here. He hasn't had any joy here. He hasn't had a good run of games. When he has a game, he gets taken out straight away. I just think that there's just no, you can always put in a buyback clause. I would always put on a sell on clause. I think that's more important than a buyback one. I think a sell on clause is probably the most obvious one, because if we believe, and listen, we probably have some Leeds bias in us when we see him. We see a big unit. We see him. He's from the area. You know that he could possibly be a potential captain in the future. But if he's going to leave and he's got the potential we think he has, he's probably going to do well at his next club, and then he's going to get sold for even bigger money when he goes there. Um, Parrot House here with the super chat, always supporting. Thank you so much, Parrot House. Thank you for that. Dave Barry here. He reminds me of Martin Keough. Yeah, he's not anything fancy. He's not beautiful to look at on the ball. He's just meat and potatoes. But you do need meat and potatoes in your team. You need those guys that are just going to throw their body in the way, sacrifice it all. Charlie Creswell is one of those. We got one with Joe Rodon. Joe Rodon is obviously better on the ball than Charlie Creswell, but it doesn't hurt to have another one in there. But if he's not going to get game time here, I don't know. The question is though, where does he go? Because we've seen him linked with Sunderland, Ipswich, and other championship clubs. I just don't know about that. I don't know. I don't think we're in a position where, and I know some people are going to say about me when I said about Jack Harrison to Leicester, that not being that not strengthening your rivals, and me accepting Harrison to Leicester. It's completely different with this one, because I don't rate Jack Harrison like that. I don't think he would have kept Leicester up. I don't rate him like that. But with Charlie Creswell, I do think he could make a difference to one of our rivals if he was to go there. I do believe that. Um, Yeah, Lord Sheargraf, Charlie has done it at youth international level too, and he scores goals. Yeah, and he's just a solid presence back there, Lord Sheargraf. I know it's crazy that the first thing you think about defending is defenders defending. I know it's secondary these days, but he actually defends well. But he's just not going to get the opportunities here. But yeah, Gavin, that's tremendous. Hey, that popped me. That's popped me, Gavin. That's tremendous. Do we have a sellback clause on Furpo? That's salute you, Gavin. That's awesome. Steve Kingy with his Steve Cooper agenda here. Steve Cooper would play him just saying, listen, we don't know. We don't know. But listen, that's going to be something that we're going to have to monitor. The tone has definitely changed from when Farke said no one's leaving to now all of a sudden we have to take into consideration the players' feelings. And just before we leave the stream, just to talk about one of our promotion rivals, Jeremy Sarmiento, we saw him go back to Brighton from West Brom. He's now going on to Ipswich Town. So Ipswich Town are strengthening their ranks. Very good player at this level anyway. He's going to make a bit of a difference for them. They need a jolt, as you've seen with Ipswich's latest results. They've been stuttering a bit. This will give them a nice little boost, a nice little quality boost to their ranks. So you're seeing our teams around us are doing stuff, are making moves. We've got to do something. We can't stand pat with what we've got. We need to get more players that Daniel Farke trusts, because Daniel Farke is not going anywhere. It's quite obvious he's the man that's going to stay here. So the 49ers enterprises need to back him, and back him well. Finish the job. You did well in the summer. Finish the job off in January and get him what he needs to get this team in the top two. Because it's still possible, people. We have to go on a run. We know that, but it's definitely still possible, especially if we make the right additions. Yeah, Darren Sarmiento is quality. Yeah, that's and look, it's what I said before. You know, Fabio Carvalho. I haven't seen him linked with us. I've seen him linked with Leicester and Southampton. When you're in those spots, when you're in those prime spots of being looking like you're going to go up, or your team's playing consistent, good football, clubs will loan out those kind of players to these teams. So if we was in the top two, I would fully expect us to be in for Fabio Carvalho. I just don't know if we're going to be there with the points deficit the way it is right now. So we've got to keep winning, must keep winning to get those kind of players. Matt here saying, KG, would you swap back Jaden Anthony for Cine? I wouldn't take back Sinistera, and Bournemouth wouldn't do that anyway, but I would certainly send back Jaden Anthony. I think that we've got one too many wingers anyway. And I think if you could swap him back and say, hey, listen, can you take this back, and maybe we'll take someone else off you instead, I would do that. But no, Sinistera, I think those kind of things, I don't think there's any breaks in the clauses of the contracts, so it's pointless talking about it. But absolutely, I wouldn't take Sinistera back now. And by the way, though, I mean, you see the way Nanto's treated these days. You think Sinistera is going to get that kind of grace? I don't see it. Yeah, Gavin, more important we get 22. Yeah, it's Sinistera's doing this thing here and there off the bench for Bournemouth. Bournemouth are in good form. And listen, it's what I was talking about in the offseason with Bournemouth. The new owner went in there, said no sentiment here. Gary O'Neill, thanks for all you've done, but we're going in a different direction. We want to attract different kind of players. And so far, it's worked for him. Started out rocky, but now it's working for him. And I respect that so much. Bill Foley, I bigged him up in the off season a lot, and it's coming to fruition for Bournemouth. They're doing really well right now. Jamie here, what about Brooks? And yeah, he's on about David Brooks. Yeah. He's a good player. He is a good player, but when I think of David Brooks, I think of Jorginho Rutter, in that, because they kind of play the same kind of way, in off the right with their, or centrally with their left foot, and he's nowhere near Jorginho Rutter's level in terms of talent, in terms of creativity. He's a nice player, but if he's coming in to beef out the squad, then cool. But no, not if he's if we're gonna have to sacrifice a place like Jorginho for him. Absolutely no chance. But we'll see what happens there. I know we've seen whispers about Brooks, but he's a decent player. I will say that, but I think that there's other players that we could get in that 10 role that would be better. And plus, Jorginho should be our 10, and we'll see if that goes on going forward after that Birmingham game. Lord Sheargraph saying, I think this is about Brooks. He's a good get us out of championship player. Take him on low, maybe. And this is the thing, people. I know I've said this in December, but look, we're in January now. What you would do in the summer is kind of different one than what you can do in January, and there's a whole varied type of factors in that. It's also from the players you could have gotten in the summer, where you're starting from zero, everyone's starting from zero, compared to January, where everyone kind of knows where you are right now. So what we would do in the summer, what I would do in the summer, is kind of different from January. Like when I said possibly take Kiefer Moore on loan, I am never suggesting Kiefer Moore in the summer. It's never happening. And if we was in the top two right now with a comfortable lead, I'm not talking about Kiefer Moore either. I'm not doing that. It's just that your targets and the way that you've played, all the evidence that you've seen in the game so far, it dictates what you need in the transfer window come January time. And you have to plug holes, but you also have to fill in needs that you need in your team as well. So it is completely different. Carl Brown, thank you, Carl Brown, for the super sticker. Much appreciated, man. But yeah, listen, it's gonna be an interesting month, and it better be interesting, because we do need some players in. It's going to be interesting to see who goes out. I'm really hoping that the whispers every day. I don't know about you guys, people, but every day I'm just looking on the rumor pages and looking at Fabrizio and just hoping I don't see Somerville's name. Because again, yesterday, if we were thinking that the Bamford prop was to sell him, then they were doing the same for Somerville, because they mentioned that he's got 18 goal and assist involvements this season. You don't do that in January. You need to keep that quiet, really and truly keep that quiet, because there will be eyes on Somerville. We know there's already eyes on him. We need to keep those players, but add to it. Can we do that from the position we're in? We're going to find out. We're going to find out this month, people. We're going to find out. SJ here. Will Peru be be annoyed he got dropped after playing half a season at position. Well, SJ, we'll see if he got dropped or if he was rested. That's going to be the interesting thing come the Cardiff. I know he sounded, again, Daniel Farke's comment saying we're going to go pretty strong against Peterborough. Okay. But we're going to see what he does in the next league game. That's going to be the real test. Will Perot be on the bench again? If so, for me, yeah, I know what I think about that. The guy's been criticised and battered and bruised for playing centre back and getting 9 goals from there. I'm being extra, of course. And then the one guy comes in with 1 goal since what, April, and he's lauded as what we've been missing. It's just the way it goes sometimes. That's just the way it goes. Mark B here saying, "Don't look for to Fabrizio for the truth." Mark B, I've talked about Fabrizio many times on here before, but knowing people, players, agents, and intermediaries that have worked with him and speak to him, when he gets things, it's either because it's true or because the agent is putting word out there that they want someone to be moved. Or maybe sometimes a club wants a player to move on and they're just letting everyone know that this player is available. People can call for Fabrizio a tapping merchant and everything all they want, but he is heavily involved in players who want moves. There are players out there, and I know a couple that have loved the fact that they've had the "here we go." Okay, so you can doubt him all you want, but when he does put stuff out there, it's because he's been given information about out there, whether it's true or not, but it's to drum up interest. So I'll just say that. No, are any of our loans coming back? I haven't heard anything. I don't know if anyone else has heard anything concrete, but as far as I'm aware, none of the loans are coming back. And I don't see why they would. I mean, I can see why a couple would, like Brendan Aronson having a disaster class over in Germany, but I think that what would happen with Brendan is he'd come back and then he'd get loaned out again. I don't see him playing for this team. But yeah, we shall see what happens, people. I'm going to leave the stream there because obviously these are going to come frequently this month, and we can't spend forever on them, but if they can go live at any point. So if you haven't got the notification bell on, please hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. Subscribe to the channel so you can join in as well, the chat. Hopefully I want to do most of these live because I love getting people's interactions on who we're signing or who we're interested in. That's the interesting part of the interactions for me when you're talking transfers. If I'm doing any recorded, it will just be because it's just a quick one. It just needs a quick 8-10 minute talk and I can just put it out there. But generally, I want to get these live. So please stay tuned to the channel. Like the video as well. That is the most important thing that you can do for the channel. Subscribe. And of course, drop your comments below. People, I will see you in the next stream. And Leeds United, get Doig done. Peace.